somebody who's, let's say, a secular humanist and somebody who's a spiritual person in politics. The major difference, in my view, is that one person believes in a transcendent reality and the other doesn't. So what does it mean that I believe in a transcendent reality and you don't, practically speaking? I would argue that my position makes a hell of a lot more sense politically than yours, but that would be a more protracted discussion about whether...
How so? Just take that briefly.
Briefly. Well, this is it's an interesting question. Does it make more sense to construct the social order, to construct the idea of social justice, to construct the idea of community, of participation, of a shared future, all the things that are required for the creation of the social good in secular terms? Can you justify that more by arguing that a transcendent value exists or by arguing that a transcendent value does not exist? I would argue that it makes a heck of a lot more sense that human... I'll give you a good example. Okay, so this is why. Go back to intellectual disability. Someone that has a 40 IQ, are they as valuable as someone who has 140 IQ?
Yes.
Not really. Not really. Let's be blunt. How many people here's best friend has a 40 IQ? How many people want to go on a date with a person with a 40 IQ? How many people are looking to hire somebody with a 40 IQ? How many people are running around thinking, I want to look at that magazine that has somebody on the cover with a 40 IQ? When was the last time you saw a magazine with someone on the cover with a 40 IQ?
I'm a good straight man on that.
In my view, the only foundation for the premise that everyone has equal value, the only argument that justifies everybody in this room having equal, in my view, now I'm not a political philosopher, is the idea that they are each and every one made by a divine being who wishes for them and who has created them in the image of beauty and truth and goodness. And that creation as a whole intends and tends toward that beauty and truth and goodness. So to me, the radical faith-based premise is not that we should give the greatest good to the greatest number, but that we should enter into relationships of self-sacrificing love that liberates the goodness of all people. Dorothy Day, Jean Vanier, the great saints of churches, not just the Christian tradition, believe in unlocking the greatness of every human being, not because they were utilitarians and trying to distribute goods, but because every person, first and foremost, was a creation of the divine. Every being was a creation of the divine. In my view, the secular argument runs afoul, in part when you get... So, why should I be infusing my spirituality? I would say to the person of no faith, of course everybody has the right to have no faith, and I wouldn't impose my religion on anyone, and I don't have any aspiration to impose my religion. I have enough problems with my religion myself, not to mention imposing it on somebody else. But I would work with every ounce of energy I've got to impose that radical spiritual ideal that everybody counts and that self-sacrificing love is the key to unlocking the giftedness of every human being, and that that should be the foundation of a great country, in my view.